How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store continues to run a bunch of sales right now, and I want to take a look at games under the price of $10. Now, we already recently did a video looking at PSN deals under $10, but that was centered around the games under $15 sale. This one is going to be centered around the Hidden Gem sale, as well as a couple of deals from the Blockbuster game sale. So, I'll cover the Blockbuster game sale deals first, because that sale is ending sooner. That sale ends on October the 13th, so you still have a couple of days to take advantage of that, so let's just get right into it. First things first, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 84% off for $9.59. I believe this is a new low for the game, and I saw a bunch of people commenting, letting me know about this deal, and somehow I missed it in the last under $10 video, but yes, $9.59 for this is absolutely excellent. Ace Combat 7 is a great game. I wish Ace Combat as a franchise would get a little bit more Western appeal. I mean, we're up to the 7th entry, so obviously it's gotten a bit of appeal, but I think it deserves a lot more attention. Great soundtrack here, gameplay solid. I don't think the story's anything to, get emotionally invested into or super into, but overall it's still a fairly good, a really, really good game. VR component in there as well. $9.59, think that's a great buy. Next up, Media Molecules Dreams, always gotta give that a mention when it's down to $9.99, 50% off. What a great deal for this. I think this is a game that if you want something with a lot of longevity to it, Dreams is gonna be that. Media Molecule themselves have said that they're looking to support this game for a decade, and you see that coming through. Even if you're not big into the creation suite and the creation elements of the Media Molecule titles, Dreams does take that into, the highest level in the sense of making your own games. You can still explore all the other creations that other people are making, and there's some pretty cool creations there as well. $9.99 for this, I think, is a great buy. There is a free trial available, so if you want to check that out first, go for it, and then circle back and buy the game if you do really like it. Next up, we have Rayman Legends, 75% off for $4.99. Another franchise that, in my opinion, just does not get the recognition it deserves. I mean, Rayman's pretty iconic at this point. You got the Rabbids games with Mario, but Rayman Legends, the traditional Rayman platformers, there's something fantastic about it. I remember playing Rayman Origins, and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. Rayman Legends, in my opinion, even better than that, and they are just really, really well-made platformers that are going to age incredibly well, because the Origins and Legends both have great art styles. Again, solid platforming gameplay while catering towards those of you that might be nostalgic with your platformers, but at the same time being an engaging experience for even a 2021 audience if you're picking it up today. And $5 for it, I think, is a fantastic pickup. Go check it out. Lastly, from the Blockbuster sale, do want to give a shout to Dishonored Definitive Edition, which is 50% off for $9.99. Now, ideally, I would like this to be $4.99. It's $9.99, 50% off, but I love Dishonored 1, man. I paid $60 for this game when it came out. To give you guys an idea, a bit of a throwback on how archaic I am, I bought Dishonored physically on PC at my local Target. Well, at the time, my local Target. I moved since then, but you guys get the deal. It was a great game, and I got my $60 worth. It was a fantastic, fantastic game. Great stealth action adventure game. You can play it a plethora of different ways. If you want to go blazing and play it as an action heavy title, you can do that. I prefer to play Dishonored in a little bit of a slower paced, stealthy experience. I think that's how you're going to get the most out of the game. A bit of replayability there as well. $9.99, I think that's a great deal. Check out Dishonored 2 as well. Dishonored 2 is excellent. But definitely check out Dishonored 1 first. In my opinion, you should play both games, and then check out Death of the Outsider as well. Alright, circling to the Hidden Gem sale, some really good deals as a part of this sale. Tales of Vesperia, the Definitive Edition, is $9.99. Obviously, Tales of has been getting quite a bit of buzz recently with Tales of Arise. Tales of Vesperia is fantastic. It's a very, very lengthy JRPG. It's longer than a lot of the recent Tales of titles because it's going to take you probably 50 to 60 hours, especially if you want to do everything in the game, even longer than that. Great cast of characters here. The main character, Yuri, often talk about how he's one of my favorite main characters in a JRPG. Just very much of a different character than your typical, I don't know, shonen main character, so to speak. I just thought Yuri was a very engaging character. And then the rest of the cast is really good as well. The character interactions, I thought, were well done. The story is fairly good. Battle system is good. Visuals still look pretty decent. I mean, it's Tales of, you know what to get out of the classic Tales of titles, but Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for $9.99, think this is quite a good pickup. Next up, Metal Gear Solid 5, the Definitive Experience, 75% off for $4.99. It's Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, and a bunch of DLC for $5. This is a ridiculous deal, and I highly, highly recommend it. I know Phantom Pain had some controversy when it initially came out, but if you assess it as it is and paying $5 for it, it's still a very, very well-designed open-world action-adventure stealth game, and some people will lambast at the fact, you know, the story isn't as great as some of the other Metal Gear games. No, the story is pretty good. It's just told in a different way, utilizing the cassette tapes. And personally speaking, I found the idea of listening to all the cassette tapes, I thought it was really well done, and I was listening to a lot of them multiple times just to make sure I could, like, you know, get everything out of the story. Really enjoyed the game, and for $5 for all the content you're getting, it is a great pickup. Next up, we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which is $5.99 for Plus subscribers, $7.49 for non-Plus subscribers. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, in my opinion, is a fantastic, fantastic, atmospheric, dark game, exploring a lot of mature themes and a lot of more psychological elements. From that standpoint, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is really well done. It's not the lengthiest game in the world, but what you're getting is a really, really well-designed game that, again, explores a lot of mature themes. Ninja Theory did a great job with it, and unfortunately, they have been acquired by Microsoft, so if you want to play Hellblade 2, PC, Xbox is your only way to do so, but still, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is well worth a playthrough, and I would strongly recommend it at $6. Next up, we have Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, 70% off for $8.99. Great action RPG by Capcom. Dark Arisen is really the version you gotta get. The only thing that's a bummer with Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is that they took out the incredible theme song from the original Dragon's Dogma. That still scars me to this day, but Dark Arisen is a great extension of Dragon's Dogma. You get the base game and the Dark Arisen expansion on the PS4. A lot of those technical handcuffs are removed. $9 for a challenging action RPG. Strong recommendation here. Often sees comparisons to the Souls games. I think of it a little bit differently. I can definitely see why people compare it to Souls, but it's very good as its own game. Next up, another great JRPG, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, 80% off for $9.99. This was one of my favorite JRPGs back in the PlayStation 3 days. Honestly, a lot of people would probably consider it the best JRPG in the PlayStation 3 era, and this version is really well done as well, and it's a game that's aged incredibly well because of the great art style. The cast of characters are great, and this is another one of those JRPGs that I would say is a great gateway JRPG for those of you that aren't a big fan of the genre, maybe haven't played a lot of JRPGs, maybe haven't played any. Ni no Kuni is a rather good one, and a story that I think just about anybody can get invested into. And then again, when you look at the presentation elements, and then you look at the soundtrack, or you listen to the soundtrack rather, it just is a concoction for a very, very engaging game for just about anyone. $9.99, great buy here. Next up, gotta show Supergiant Games some love as all of their games are on sale. Bastion, 75% off for $3.74. Only gonna mention this one, Transistor Pyre, they're great as well. You guys know Supergiant is awesome. Bastion was one of those games that was just so well done. Another game that has aged incredibly well because of a great art style. The narration is excellent, the gameplay is great, the soundtrack is awesome, and the story is quite engaging as well. It's just a fantastic game, and there's a reason why, you know, Supergiant Games started to get a lot of attention after the release of Bastion. Then you think about it, they've dropped banger after banger after banger, but Bastion at this stage of the game, yes, it is a little bit older of a game, but again, it's aged so well, and a lot of you guys probably have missed out on it. Came out back in 2011, so yeah, just to age myself, those of you guys that were like 13 years old back then, maybe Bastion wasn't the type of game you wanted to play and you were too busy with your first-person shooters or whatever the case may be. Now you're 23, maybe you've expanded your genres of gaming that you go for, and Bastion's just one that you should go back and play if you did miss out on it back in the day, so definitely go give it a look. Next up, SteamWorld Dig 2, 65% off for $7, an excellent Metroidvania title, one with a lot of replayability and a lot of charm to it as well, and unfortunately, in my opinion, maybe this is anecdotal, but I feel like it gets lost in the shuffle quite a bit. Yeah, like I'm on the SteamWorld Dig 2 Steam page, and it's only got 2,400 reviews. when you compare that to a game like Dead Cells, obviously, Dead Cells is well ahead. But SteamWorld Dig 2 is a great game in its own right, and it got a lot of high marks and review scores. I believe IGN gave it a 10 and an 85 on Metacritic, so the critical reception was pretty good. And again, the Steam reviews that are there, 2,400 reviews, 96% positive, overwhelmingly positive. It's a well-done Metroidvania title. Go check it out, especially if you've exhausted playing all of the other Metroidvanias. This is one that does get lost in the shuffle a bit, so go check it out. Next up, Little Nightmares 75% off for $4.99. Little Nightmares 2 is also on sale, but it's like $24, so wanted to give mention to Little Nightmares 1, a great platforming puzzle horror title. Very, very dark game in its own right. I could see some people comparing it to a game like Limbo, but Bandai Namco definitely have something here with Little Nightmares as an IP. Again, a very good horror title that does embody a lot of those elements of horror that I dig out of horror games. Like, for example, just like Soma leaves the player a little bit more powerless, and I kind of like that in a horror game where you don't have guns or you're not this overpowered character or anything like that, and I think Little Nightmares gets that right as well. Obviously, not the only way to do a horror game, but done pretty well in Little Nightmares. A very eerie game as well. Lastly, I do want to give a shout to Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood. The old school Castlevania titles are right up my alley. Honestly, Castlevania in general is right up my alley. Symphony of the Night, obviously one of the most iconic Castlevania games of all time, maybe the most iconic. Rondo of Blood is pretty decent as well. Symphony of the Night really is one of those games that I played the hell out of a while ago when I first discovered it, but $9 for both the games, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. It typically goes for $20. To get both for $9, I think is pretty decent. And hopefully, Castlevania is a franchise that's here to stay for the long term, and if reports are to be believed, it looks like Konami might be doing a little bit more with Castlevania. And of course, we just got the Advanced Collection as well. Hopefully all these sell well, and we can get a true new Castlevania title in the near future. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, a ton of deals available. Really hard to cover everything that's going on in the PlayStation Store on a weekly basis, just because they run so many deals. And guys, remember, it's gonna get crazier. We're in early October right now. You guys know what's gonna happen towards the end of next month. As we head into December, we got Black Friday, we got things like the Thanksgiving sale, we got things like the holiday sale, the winter sale. There's just gonna be deal after deal after deal. Like, if you think this is heavy, man, to me, this is just the calm before the storm, because that's when it's really gonna hit later in the year. But I'll be covering all of that. We'll be covering physical deals as well as we get closer to that, but that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.